Kate Kendall, Corey Johnson, and now Stephanie's child. The bar has been set very, very high. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to see so many of you here tonight to support our LGBT elders and to celebrate SAGE's 40th anniversary. Yes. When I look out over this beautiful hall tonight, I see so much light and love and caring and warmth. And that is a beautiful thing. We are living in difficult times in our country, and it is so wonderful to be together tonight to show our love in the face of what can sometimes feel like so much darkness. That's something truly to celebrate, so please give yourselves a big round of applause for standing up and stepping out for our LGBT elders. The story of our elders that we celebrate tonight is also the story of our community. It is the story of a struggle for justice, a struggle for love, a struggle to be treated as nothing more and nothing less than the full human beings that we are in all of our beautiful permutations and diversity. Yes, yes. And the elders who live in our community today were yesterday's young generation. The brave young people at Stonewall, now almost 50 years ago, who refused to be invisible, who refused to be quiet, who refused to be abused just because of who they were and who they loved. They are the people who have been fighting for what's right ever since. The people who paved the way for the equality that we enjoy today. Our elders, yes, our elders were the young people and the people of all ages who insisted on marching in the first gay liberation and pride marches in the 1970s, even though haters screamed at them and pelted them with rocks and sometimes worse. Our elders were the people in the 1980s who acted up and fought back when tens of thousands of us were dying of AIDS and our government and society turned its back. They were the people who decided we must have each other's backs when nobody else will. Our elders are the people who emerged from that epidemic, not beaten down, but resilient and empowered, and then launched a crusade for our rights, including the freedom to marry. Yes. And our elders are the transgender people, led by trans women of color through every age, who through every age have been brutalized and murdered and still defiantly insist on being who they are. That's who our elders are. That's who our elders are. Tonight we celebrate our elders who have done all of these things, even though they knew that the world might not change in time for them. But they have done it anyway because they were determined to change the world for those who came after them, to change the world for us. Their acts of bravery were not just stories of big, bold activism. They were also the smaller steps that one by one have transformed our world. The kind of steps that LGBT people and our allies are still taking day in and day out. The first person to fly a rainbow flag on their block or street or city or town. The first person to come out in your workplace or transition on the job. The first person to come out in your family. The first straight ally to have the back of an LGBT coworker or speak out against injustice when you saw it. Our elders of today are the people who over decades broke all those millions of pieces of ground, large and small. They are the pillars of our LGBT community. Some of them are icons known to millions. People like James Baldwin, Harvey Milk, Edie Windsor, Marsha P. Johnson, yes. And some of them are unsung heroes. People like Jake Callio, Michael Furstein, Jerry Calbus, Sandy Warshaw, Amber Hollabow, so many of our unsung heroes. They are our elder movement leaders like Rio Circle founder Regina Shavers and Open House founder Marcy Edelman, and so many more. They are the people in whose names we give SAGE Awards every year: Ken Dawson and Paula Edelbrick and Joyce Warshaw and Jack Waters. As we gather here, as we gather here tonight at the ground zero of the Stonewall generation, it should go without saying that each of the 100,000 LGBT elders that live here in New York City and the 3 million members of the Stonewall generation across the country should be thanked and celebrated for everything they have done. And they should be able to grow old with the dignity and joy and support that they deserve and that they have earned. But unfortunately, that's not the case yet for far too many of our elders. Far too many of our elders are growing old alone and isolated and invisible. Far too many are aging in poverty. Far too many are forced back into the closet late in life just to receive the care and services they need without discrimination and harassment. Far too many don't feel safe being who they are, even where they live, even in their homes. SAGE was founded 40 years ago to change all of that. All of that. And with your help, we are. With your help, we are. It's why we run 5 SAGE centers all across New York City that provide services and programs to thousands of LGBT elders every year. It's why we're building New York City's first 2 LGBT welcoming elder housing developments, with the first scheduled to open in June in Fort Greene during Pride Month, and the next one in the Bronx just a few months later. Yes. It's why SAGE has trained thousands of professional care workers across the country to do right by our elders. And it's why we refuse to stand by and watch our elders be mistreated by our government or by anybody else. It's why when the Trump administration last year sought to erase LGBT elders from a critically important federal program, we said no. We said no. We said no. We fought back, and we won. We forced the Trump administration to put our elders back into that program. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It's why when Mary Walsh and Bev Nance were denied admission to that retirement community in St. Louis because their relationship isn't a so-called biblical marriage, SAGE joined with the National Center for Lesbian Rights to say no and to fight back in the courtroom and to fight back in the court of public opinion, because our elders did not struggle and sweat and bleed and, yes, even die just to watch all of our progress be taken away from us. No, they did not. They did not, and it will not happen. It will not happen. As we gather here tonight, we must be as committed as they have been, as our elders have been, and as committed as they still are. We must fight as hard as our elders did and still do. The individuals who we honor tonight, George Takei, Speaker Corey Johnson, Kate Kendall, and John Lake, powerfully exemplify this commitment. Yes. And so do SAGE's amazing staff and board members and board alumni, and so do our many SAGE elder constituents who are here with us tonight. And I want to ask our staff, our board alum, our elders, please stand up if you can. Raise your hand if you can. Let's recognize them for all of the amazing work they do. None of this work would be possible without them. Now we are living in a moral moment for our community and for our country, a time when we must decide who we are and what we stand for, a time when so many of our communities, LGBT people, people of color, immigrants, religious minorities, women, are under assault. This is a time that binds the wisdom and resiliency that comes from our history to the determination and perseverance we must have in the present, to the love and vision we must have as we work together to build a better future. And during a moral moment like this, our elders are our role models. We need the wisdom of our elders, and our elders need us. So, as we continue to celebrate SAGE's 40th anniversary, and as we gear up for the 50th anniversary of Stonewall in 2019, let's make a commitment together tonight that we refuse to be invisible, that we will stand for and with our LGBT elder pioneers, that we will have each other's backs, and that we will do everything we can tonight, tomorrow, next month, and every day to build a world of justice and beauty and love for our elders, for ourselves, and for every generation to come. Thank you so much. Now, it is truly my great honor to introduce you to an extraordinary SAGE elder. Marie Spivey lives in the Bronx and has been a participant in our SAGE Harlem and SAGE Bronx programs for many years. She is a true inspiration for all of us. Marie has never spoken in front of this many people before, and we thank her for her bravery tonight. Please welcome and please celebrate Marie Spivey.